Hey, what's up everybody? It's Tiffany, and this message is for the Girlicious fans. I know you guys have really been wondering what's going on with the group, and I feel like nobody's addressed you guys yet, and so I might as well be the first to let you guys know what's really going on. I'm no longer a part of the group. I'm no longer a part of Girlicious. You know, Rob and Antin and the new label, they were looking for a new direction for the group, and they said that they were looking for the group to not be urban any longer, and you know, I'm kind of urban, so I just didn't fit into the new puzzle that they're going to create.
In June 2009, a black woman was removed from a girl group signed to Geffen Records. The official reason: she was too urban for the direction the label wanted to take. In February 2026, a black woman was placed on indefinite hiatus from a girl group signed to Geffen Records. The official reason: her health and well-being. 17 years apart, one label. To understand Geffen's relationship with girl groups, you have to understand Rob and Antin. Antin is the creator of the Pussycat Dolls, built from a Los Angeles burlesque club night into one of the best-selling girl groups in history. The Pussycat Dolls signed to Interscope Geffen A&M in 2003. Within 2 years, they had one of the biggest pop songs in the world. They were marketed on spectacle, sex appeal, visual maximalism, and performance, and embedded in that spectacle was something the label needed: a diverse lineup that could photograph well and appeal to markets worldwide. Melody Thornton joined the Pussycat Dolls in 2003. She was 19 years old, and from day one she was performing a kind of invisible labor that had nothing to do with choreography. "I'm coming into the situation as the one black and brown girl in a group of mostly Caucasian women," she said years later. "I did not want to be Scary Doll." That reference was deliberate. Before the Pussycat Dolls, there were the Spice Girls, and the one black member got called Scary Spice as the cultural default for the black woman in the group. In Melody Thornton, walking into the Geffen machine at 19, was already calculating how to avoid inheriting that narrative. So she smiled, constantly, deliberately. She made sure there was a black makeup artist on set because the first time she showed up, there wasn't one, and she'd already watched her hair fall out from the wrong products being used on it. She was misunderstood a lot, but couldn't stop to explain herself, because the act of explaining reads as difficulty, and difficulty was the one thing she couldn't afford to be. The pressure was enough to give her panic attacks. She never disclosed this at the time. "You can't be messing up," she said later. "You gotta keep it together because you are the black girl. People know that, people see it, and they want to see you win, so you must prevail through any adversity, whatever it looks like." 7 years of that. Then the group disbanded. The 2019 and subsequent 2026 PCD reunion did not include Melody Thornton. It happened without her. No public explanation given. "I didn't always know if I was being seen," she said.
Hi, I'm Christina. Hey, I'm Nicole.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Natalie.
And we're Girlicious.
In 2008, Rob and Antin, still working within the Geffen orbit, created a second girl group through a reality competition on the CW.
Well, this is Pussycat Dolls presents Girlicious. Girlicious is a new girl group that I've been wanting to put together for a long time. It's like delicious, but girlicious.
Girlicious. We're bratty, we're sexy, we're classy, we're crazy, and we're talented.
It's only going to be 3 girls, as opposed to, the Pussycat Dolls. We've had 6 girls, and so this is going to be different.
Bringing so many different girls together with different backgrounds, coming from all over places all over the world, it makes it really cool, dynamic.
4 women made it in. Antin had originally planned for 3 members. She added a 4th at the last minute. That 4th member was Tiffanie. Tiffanie Anderson was 20 years old, from Los Angeles. The show itself was engineered for drama. Producers encouraged trash talking, cliques, and on-camera fights among teenagers still in their late teens.
Are you annoyed with her, Natalie?
Oh my God, not here! Your face! And if this affects your performance, then maybe you don't want to be here. I'm here to win. I don't know about you.
Tiffanie was frequently portrayed as over-the-top and difficult, locked in visible clashes, while the edit framed her as the source of tension. She and Nicole were the only 2 contestants who never landed in the bottom 2. Yet the reality TV machine had already given the public its narrative. Tiffanie was the problem. In an interview years later, she said, "The music industry is very crooked, so I was super stressed out." During the competition, she and Nicole Cordova were the only two contestants who never landed in the bottom two. The group debuted on Geffen Records in August 2008. Their self-titled album went platinum in Canada, and things looked like they were working. By June 2009, less than a year after debut, Tiffanie was gone. She announced it herself on YouTube because nobody at the label did it for her. She sat in front of a camera and said plainly, Rob and Antin and the label were looking for a new direction for the group. They were looking for the group to not be urban any longer. The label decided the group would be less urban. She was the urban part. After her exit, Girlicious moved from Geffen Records to Universal Music Canada. Their second album leaned towards pop, without her. Urban is a word the industry has historically used as a coded term for blackness when it wants to avoid saying blackness directly. Tiffanie was told she was too much of something. The something didn't need to be named. Everyone understood. She never really came back to music. She rebuilt herself as a visual artist. In 2022, HYBE, the South Korean entertainment company behind BTS, announced a joint venture with Geffen Records to create a new global girl group. The group was sold explicitly on diversity, multinational, multiracial. First Indian members signed to HYBE, first Filipina, first Latina, first black artist. That last one was Manon born in Lucerne, Switzerland, to a Swiss-Italian mother and an Akan Ashanti Ghanaian father. She was not a trainee, she was a social media presence who made fashion and lifestyle content on TikTok and Instagram. She was personally spotted and contacted by casting director Michelle Kim, who saw something in her.
When I first saw her, I instantly knew this girl's already a star. And I went to her Instagram and I DM'd her. She's gonna be a great contender for the program.
Over 120,000 girls applied to Dream Academy. Manon didn't. She was invited. She had no professional background, no formal training. She'd only worked as a model, but she made it through the entire competition and debuted in June 2024. The Netflix docu-series Popstar Academy, KATSEYE, which documented the group's formation, was supposed to be their origin story. For most of the members, it was. For Manon, it was the original wound. During training, she missed rehearsals. The show framed this as laziness. What Manon later described was something more specific. She was from Switzerland, where, as she explained, I thought it would be similar to school. If you're sick, you stay home. She was colliding with K-pop's extreme endurance culture on camera without anyone explaining the unwritten rules. Other trainees who struggled got sympathetic arcs. Their hard moments were framed as growth, as relatable human struggle. Manon's absences were framed as failure. Her fellow trainees called her out on camera. The show assembled a narrative that was not kind.
I would absolutely not put her in this group based on my work experience with her.
Later, during a reunion broadcast, Manon calmly said that the documentary had edited the tension between her and certain members to be more dramatic than it actually was. It was never that serious, she said. The show made it serious. The show needed a story. When that framing hit the internet, particularly K-pop spaces, which have historically struggled with racism toward black members, it calcified into a reputation. The lazy one, the one who didn't earn it. Questions later began circulating about whether she was even black enough to deserve a place in a group that brands itself as diverse. She was recruited because they saw something extraordinary in her. Then the machine that debuted her handed audiences a narrative about why she was a problem, and this wasn't an accident. KATSEYE's first year looked like a breakout success. They had multiple Billboard hits, sold-out shows, and later received 2 Grammy nominations. But way before that, behind the scenes, the exclusions mounted. In May 2025, the group's Glossier Billboard campaign was posted to social media. 5 members are in front of the billboard. Not Manon, she was sick that day. But the very next day, Manon went back to the billboard herself. She was well enough. She posted photos alone in front of the same ad. Fans asked the obvious question: if she could be there 24 hours later, why wasn't the group photo delayed by 1 day? No answer came. That same month, KATSEYE's HYBE feature ran without her individual photo. Staff confirmed it simply hadn't been sent to them. In July, a Monster High collaboration video dropped, with each member reacting to their custom doll. Manon appeared briefly at the start. When individual reaction segments began, she wasn't in them. All the other girls had their moment, and Manon didn't. The Gabriella performance video didn't include her either, but this one had a documented reason, a sprained ankle, confirmed by the label and by Manon herself on Weverse, and she was there on the set when it was filmed. She couldn't do heels intensive choreography injured and needed recovery time. This specific clip had a reason. The Glossier photo didn't, HYBE didn't, Monster High didn't. And that November, HYBE and Geffen released a personalized merch quiz for each member. For Manon, one question asked, what does Manon think is her best feature? The options were her sense of humor, her selfishness, her laziness, or her quiet nature. This was on official merch, which was reviewed, approved, and released. After the group had publicly disclosed receiving thousands of racist messages and death threats, after Manon had specifically, in interviews, called laziness a racially loaded word used to target her, no other member's quiz contained that framing. Someone from their team wrote it, reviewed it, and approved it. They used the same rhetoric and wording they had planted in their documentary. 17 years earlier, Geffen's own reality show had done the exact same thing to Tiffanie, edited her as the dramatic, difficult one so the public already had the label, when Geffen later called her too urban. On January 27, 2026, just 24 days before the hiatus announcement, Manon released a silent 2-minute short film titled Not Bad. She played a perfect housewife, maintaining an entire home while her husband sat drumming, oblivious.
Not bad.
A well-documented PR strategy often used by big companies such as Geffen is to release bad news on Friday evenings when news cycle traffic is lower, resulting in less scrutiny. The story has the weekend to settle before anyone has to respond on Monday morning. The HYBE Geffen statement appeared on Weverse at 6:45 p.m. Eastern on Friday, February 20th. It read, in full, "After open and thoughtful conversations together, we are sharing that Manon will be taking a temporary hiatus from group activities to focus on her health and well-being. We fully support this decision. KATSEYE remains committed to showing up for one another and for the fans who mean everything to us. The group will continue scheduled activities during this time, and we look forward to being together again when the time is right." Hours later, she told her subscribers directly, "I want you to hear this from me. I'm healthy, I'm okay, and I'm taking care of myself. Sometimes things unfold in ways we don't fully control, but I'm trusting the bigger picture." 2 days later, she liked an Instagram reel captioned, "Another black girl subjected to racism and label mistreatment yet again," drawing a direct line from Manon to Normani to Leigh-Anne Pinnock to Melody Thornton. She unliked it. Screenshots were already everywhere. Manon never said she wanted to leave. In fact, in the cut interview published days before the announcement, she said the opposite, unprompted. "When One Direction split, that was really hard. I don't want our fans to go through that. I don't want to be responsible for breaking so many hearts. And KATSEYE is going to stay KATSEYE for a while. This doesn't sound like someone who wanted out. To me, it sounds like she wanted to stay, but someone at HYBE Geffen wants her out." While Manon trusted the bigger picture, she removed KATSEYE from her Instagram bio and unfollowed the group's manager, and the machine kept running without her. On April 9th, 2026, KATSEYE released their new single, Pinky Up. The music video and all promotions featured only the 5 remaining members. The next day, they made their Coachella debut on the Sahara stage, premiering the track live, again without Manon. A few days later, the label announced their third EP, Wild, set for release on August 14th. All graphics, pre-order bundles, and promos spotlight the 5-member lineup. The group is still charting and booking major festivals. For Manon, however, the prolonged shelving at 23 is devastating. Every week without new music or tour dates or any updates makes it easier for casual fans to forget she existed. The longer the silence, the harder any return becomes. She could pivot to solo work, as Normani and Leigh-Anne eventually did, but the industry whisper of health issues or difficulty can linger for years, shrinking opportunities. The same label that scouted her for her star quality is now betting she will simply fade while the brand continues. The industry bets on the silence and exhaustion of the women it discards. It bets that by the time the pattern becomes visible, each individual moment will be too old to prosecute, but patterns don't expire. These are 3 different women from 3 different groups, with one label at the center of each story.